Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at this time. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. The presidency has released pictures showing ongoing renovation work at the presidential villa to buttress its position on why President Muhammadu Buhari is still operating from the fence house. This is in the aftermath of suggestions that the president was staying away from Aso Rock on the advice of spiritualists from Senegal. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu had in a statement described the claims as baseless and unfounded. He maintained the ongoing renovation of the presidential villa is the cause of the delay, not spiritual advice from Marabout. The Independent National Electoral Commission has scheduled a 3-day post-election review meeting retreat for electoral officers, administrative secretaries, and resident electoral commissioners. INEC said in a statement that the 3-day retreat will start with a meeting with electoral officers on Monday, June 15, scheduled to hold at NAF Conference Hall, Kado District, Abuja. The administrative secretaries and resident electoral commissioners will hold on Wednesday, 17th and Thursday, 18th, respectively, at the Le Meridian Hotel, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Also, the commission is to validate the 2015 election report. The commission is to validate the 2015 election report on June 15. The validation will be a prelude to its presentation on June 29. National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, says he will not recognize the emergence of Bukola Saraki as Senate president. Tinubu, who was speaking at the party's national headquarters, said the emergence of Bukola Saraki as Senate president is a kangaroo arrangement. The APC leader asked the newsman how he should recognize Saraki as Senate president after he had defied his own party and put personal interest above national interest. He added that recognizing Saraki as Senate president will amount to endorsing impunity and will be against all he has worked for. He added that the former Kwara State governor must show remorse for his action of putting personal interests ahead of group interest. He added that though he is not God, but he cannot endorse what is not good for the APC. Senators loyal to Senate President Bukola Saraki are insisting that President Muhammadu Buhari could not have summoned a meeting at the same time the 8th National Assembly was to be inaugurated. This was their explanation for showing up at the complex rather than attend a meeting at the International Conference Center. They also argue that there were at least 74 senators in the chamber of the day Saraki emerged as Senate president. Spokesman for the group, Dino Malaye, said at a news conference shortly after plenary that inauguration and subsequent election was in line with due process.
Sent a proclamation letter to the National Assembly, and in that proclamation letter is stated categorically that the proclamation of the 8th Senate will be done at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. of the 9th of June 2015. How can Mr. President, that we know, in one hand send a letter of proclamation to the National Assembly, and in the other hand, call for a meeting at the International Conference Center? And if Mr. President wants to meet legislators, the Defense House is there, the villa is there, the banquet hall is there. Why International Conference Center? However, did Mr. President eventually attend to anybody at the International Conference Center? Capital, no.
The group of senators opposed to the emergence of Bukola Saraki as Senate president are heading to the law court. The senators who were at the International Conference Center at the time of inauguration on Tuesday said at a news conference in Abuja that 57 senators cannot elect a Senate president. They described the election as unconstitutional and insisted that they were heading for the court to challenge Saraki's election.
The first sign of a looming intra-party crisis was this act of disregard for protocol by Senator Oluremi Tinubu. This was soon followed by protestation by members of the Lawan group on the manner of Saraki's emergence.
The Constitution says that you must do it at so time. Did the Constitution say so? So there is discretion in it. So if there is no quorum in it, so many times we come to the chamber, we'll sit down and we'll have to wait for some members to come because we don't have quorum.
In driving for a united Senate, it should be reasonable to accommodate. If the desire is not to accommodate, but wherever anyone has advantage, he uses it maximally.
There was a counter-position, even though the Senate was not prepared to entertain the Lawan group's position.
Thirdly, I hereby stand to second the motion ably moved by the Deputy Senate President. I so second.
The group later addressed the press on their grievances and their intention.
Many senators came there after the event was done. And the most important aspect of electing any presiding officer of the Senate revolves around nomination. Every senator eligible must be present when nomination is made and closed. So when 53 senators are outside and you close nomination, definitely quorum has not been formed.
This is the first time we are witnessing this sad event that took place yesterday. In 2007, all of us were present. In 2011, all of us were also present. Yesterday, only 57 or 56 were present. That is most unprecedented in the history of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The Senate, however, insists that President Buhari did not summon a meeting of APC senators. It also dismissed claims that Saraki's emergence was not in line with constitutional provisions.
On the issue of quorum, it is very clear, very, very clear. This is the standing orders of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Order 10 is clear. Order 10.1. The quorum of the Senate shall be 1/3 of the members of the Senate. I no go school. Please, 1/3 of 109 is what? 38. 1/3 of 109 is what? 38. And we had 76 people in attendance yesterday. I don't understand though.
And although the Lawan group had made known its plan to go to court, senators of like minds maintain that APC members in the Senate are not divided. This is in spite of what appears like a brewing leadership crisis in a Senate that has for 8 years been stable. The Senate had since adjourned to June 23.
The Senate has formally denied the former Senate President, David Mark, is now the Senate leader. Senator Dino Melaye made this clarification at a news conference at the National Assembly complex. He explained that the former president was only singled out to be sworn in separately as a mark of honor during Tuesday's inauguration.
There was a misrepresentation yesterday on NTA, where it was erroneously stated that the highly respected Senator David Mark was sworn in as the majority leader. That story is baseless, has no iota of fact in it, it's falsehood, and totally not true. What happened is that out of respect for the former Senate president, he was sworn in as an individual instead of the groupings that took place. So we are using this opportunity to correct the erroneous impression out there that he was sworn in as the Senate leader of the 8th Senate.
Senate President Bukola Saraki on Wednesday administered the oath of office to senators elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress who were absent from Tuesday's inauguration. 28 senators, including Ahmed Lawan and George Akume, were sworn in, and all the federal lawmakers took turns to shake hands with the Senate President. Senator Oluremu Tinubu, however, chose not to shake hands with Saraki. Former Speaker of the House of Representatives and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal on Wednesday paid a courtesy call on his successor Yakubu Dogara. Tambuwal was accompanied by the former Deputy Speaker Emeka Ihedioha, along both serving and past legislators. The meeting, which lasted a few minutes, witnessed loads of pleasantries and exchange of goodwill messages. Former military governor of Lagos State, Mohammed Mara, has returned to the All Progressives Congress with thousands of his supporters across Adamawa State, barely a week after resigning from the People's Democratic Party. This was contained in a statement issued on Wednesday in Yola, Adamawa State, by his media aide, Bello Zubairu. The former ambassador said the decision to return to the APC was jointly reached at a well-attended meeting between him and his supporters under the aegis of the Mara organization. CMO, speaking at the party, the former military governor of Borno and Lagos States reminded the Guardian that they had no reason to leave APC before, but for the fact that thousands of two members were denied registration into APC in Adamawa State when the party was newly formed. He urged them to forgo their grievances and let bygones be bygones, stressing that without President Muhammadu Buhari in the saddle, such impunity wouldn't happen again. It would be recalled that before the emergence of the All Progressives Congress, Mara was the governorship candidate of the Congress for Progressive Change (CPC) in Adamawa State and was also one of the state leaders of APC at inception. You're still watching CoreTV News at this time. We'll take a break and I'll be back with more stories. Please stay with us.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that should be consulted.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it is about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power.
In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
For more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. Follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, give a space and news. President Muhammadu Buhari has met the nation's security chiefs for the second time within a week. The meeting, which held behind closed doors, was attended by National Security Advisors Sambo Dasuki, Chief of Defense Staff Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, and Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Usman Jibril. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Defense Aliyu briefed State House correspondents at the end of the meeting.
On the meeting of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin, which is with the head of states holding tomorrow, on the arrangement on the meeting held between the Chief of Defense of the Lake Chad Basin and the Ministers of Defense, which is culminating into the President's meeting.
Members of the House of Representatives have condemned the recent killing of a Youth Corps member in Imo State. This followed a motion raised by Kingsley Chinder, which described the killing as gruesome and unfortunate. He urged the House to call on the federal government to come up with an insurance policy to protect the lives of Corps members. The police have arrested 6 suspects in connection with the death of Professor Ahmed Falaki of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. Falaki was killed in Kano by a mob who thought that he was a Boko Haram member. The suspects, Iliyasu Musa, Marcus Ahmed, Montari Matu, Bello Hassan, and Nura Ibrahim, are to be charged to court for culpable homicide. Meanwhile, the police authorities say some officers and men would also face trial for negligence in the discharge of their duties at the crime scene. They were said to have done nothing to rescue the professor and later claimed the victim and his associates were Boko Haram members. Kaduna State Police commanders apprehended a 15-year-old boy, Ashimulawa, accused of burning his neighbor and shop owner, Nura Mashago, to death for breaking into his store. Police told CoreTV News that Lawal took the action as revenge for late Nura in order to subject him to public ridicule. Lawal had broken into late Nura's shop to steal some properties including a cell phone and 4,500 naira cash. He thereafter handed the items to his grandfather for safekeeping. Further revelations show that when Lawal's grandfather knew that the stolen items belonged to late Nura, he returned them, an action which was received as an affront by the 15-year-old Ashimo Lawal, hence the decision to set Nura ablaze. Kaduna State Police Public Relations Officer Zubairu Abdullahi said the suspect, Ashimo Lawal, is a thief with a track record for breaking into people's houses and shops. He was also identified as a member of Sarazuka, a group known for killing people at will. Police said investigations has been completed and the suspects will be arraigned in court soon. Member of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Ogun State Police Command have arrested 3 suspected kidnappers for kidnapping 11-year-old Amina Tishala and killing her 8 days after. The mastermind, 21-year-old Babatunde Aderomu, who was a sacked staff of the bakery belonging to the victim's guardian, was arrested alongside Shino Damilare and Taufik Kola Ajisomo. An Islamic cleric police said the kidnappers carried out the criminal act on the 21st of May this year at about 7:30 p.m. at Arugudu near Ijokwota area of Ogun State. The victim was then taken to Oshun-Jegede in Ibadan, Oyo State, where she eventually died after Ajisomo, one of the suspects in which house the victim was kept, administered some substances suspected to be poison to her. The suspects then put her corpse in a sack and dumped it in front of a police division in Ibadan to escape punishment. Even at that, they still made calls to the relatives of the deceased to demand a 2 million naira ransom. The suspects have confessed to the crime and police vow to make sure the suspect faces the full wrath of the law. In the same vein, the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Untom Chukwu, has revealed his team has arrested 5 suspected cultists at Ijebu-Ode, while arms and ammunition were also recovered. Meanwhile, the 7-month salaries owed Osun workers by the state government is taking its toll on the residents of the state. Apart from the strike embarked upon by the workers, traders in various markets in Osun State are also resolving to an intentional strike due to low patronage. This, they say, can only change if and when salaries of the striking workers are paid by the state government. Rashid has more report from Oshogbo.
It is no more news that the Osun State government is owing its workers 7-month salary arrears. Aside series of protests which later led to indefinite strike by the workforce, the effect of unpaid salaries are felt in all sectors of the state economy, especially for market women and traders with low patronage. Most of them decry low commercial activities in the market, grossly attributed to inability of the government to pay the striking workers.
People are afraid as no market because they say government didn't pay the workers.
The total workforce of the Osun State Civil Service is about 20,000, and in states like Osun, which have little or no industry, the civil service is the mainstay of the state economy. According to these lamenting traders, Aregbesola should hearken to the calls of the workers.
All these workers you are seeing are borrowed and are heavily indebted. There are some who borrow up to 12,000 naira. Our advice is for Governor Ralph Aregbesola to pay the workers for us to have a pleasant celebration.
While the state government have appealed to the striking workers for patience, the workers are insisting their demand must be met. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
The organized labor in Plateau State on Tuesday announced the suspension of the industrial action embarked upon by the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress and other affiliate unions in the states to protest the non-payment of salaries and other entitlements by the outgone Jonajang administration. The workers were particularly not happy and have decided to down tools due to the non-payment of 6 to 7 months' salary by the immediate past government. However, following appeals from the governor's Simeon Lalong administration, the workers on Tuesday were directed to resume work on Wednesday. It was gathered that Lalong had promised to pay 2 months of the salary arrears of workers within this week. The state chairman of the NLC, Comrade Jibril Banse, said the NLC was taking Lalong by his word in the hope that it would pay part of the salary arrears as promptly as he has promised. More than 3,000 staff from 14 local government council areas of Edo State are demanding the payment of their unpaid salaries running into several months. The angry staff decked in black clothes protested around major streets of Benin City while carrying placards inscribed with all manner of weddings and chanting solidarity songs. The protesters called on the present administration of Governor Adams Oshiomhole and local government commission to offset their backlog of salaries or face dire consequences. The local government staff, led by the state president of Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Comrade Young Eleni Kena, made this known when he led them to the State Council Secretariat of the Nigerian Union of Journalists.
At the NUJ Edo Secretariat, staffers of 14 local government councils in protest in their 1,000 stormed councils to lament the untold hardship as a result of their unpaid salaries of about 5 to 9 months, observing that Eson South East, Estako East and Owen East local government councils are the 3 councils that have so far paid and not owing staffs. NUJ State President said they are not slaves and cannot be second citizens, stressing that other agencies have paid, wonder why the local government commission and the state government continue to stifle the system with continuous cry of shortfall in allocation.
We are here today to register our protest, peaceful protest, for the abandonment of local government workers for the past 8 months. For no salary. We have been dialoguing, negotiating, pleading, interventions from various quarters, but they all seem to be in vain. We went on strike for 3 days. We were being reprimanded, called troublemakers, because we demanded for our salaries.
He appealed to the NUJ to help disseminate the information while also urging the state governor to take care of its responsibility of paying teachers and not abdicate it to local government.
Other citizens that are working, they get their salary, but the local government workers, no salary. Are we second-class citizens in our own system? We want to make it clear to solve this lingering salary problem in Edo State. The state government must take its responsibility in the payment of teachers' salary. You can see from our banner, the local government pays 100% salary to teachers, while the state is paying 0.
The protesting local government employees later dispersed the NUJ ground to continue their protest, with a stern call to all staffs to continue the protest.
With that, it's a wrap on CoreTV News of the hour. Join us at the top of the next hour for more updates. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.